Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for your Commander-in-Chief to go into the city and opens its books on what took place on Abbotsford residents. The attempt on my life, the Abbotsford police that covered Ed Fast and Mike de Jong, the MLA and the MP, tied to Henry Braun, the train tycoon, having his son conflict of interest in council in his house to win decisions for his friends and his developers, increasing his richness off the backs of Abbotsford taxpayers. A lot of the city bureaucrats were involved in it, and for me not to mention their names, they started helping me leaking it. It does no good. You got to be brought before the courts, and we got a financial audit because it'll show the kickbacks. The stuff that took place on Mackenzie Bog without any representation by Magna or council or mayor, and people got deadly sick, their water got contaminated and everything. But I'm not here there today to that. Today I want to talk to you about provincial politics. David Eby, the B.C Conservatives, and the Liberals. David Eby was in the ledge and he spoke that the Conservatives are being taken over by the Liberals. Peter Mellibard has most of the Liberals backing him, from Christy Clarks to everybody else that's on him. He was a 20-year veteran Liberal. You can't be in the Conservative Party, and I'll voice that as a Conservative, and so will all the Conservatives will voice that. We got Elliot, what was up in Merritt a couple of weeks ago, and she made a claim in the restaurant, in the bar and grill up there, that when it came to candidates like Bruce Banman that's running, she said, her campaign people said, well, we don't want that guy in. Okay, we don't want him at all. Not wishing him the best or anything else. We don't want him. The campaign people said he's a loser. That's got to be called out. He's qualified in that party to stop that thing, and we got to make sure that's called out. And people like that in their campaign, right in the restaurant, eyewitnesses there in Merritt, BC, doing this kind of stuff. Not only that, we got Ian Black. Ian Black was brought here into municipal politics. Simon Gibson, the city council, tied to Mike de Jong. A longtime MLA, owes Mike de Jong and Henry Braun. So look at it like this. There's three Liberal candidates running in the BC Conservative. Peter Mellibard, Ian Black, and Caroline. All three of them are running with the establishment backing them and helping them. What took place in Abbotsford opened the doors into politics that's got to be stopped, and it's got to go before our courts, and the RCMP got to get in here. We had Alex Mitchell at the Chamber of Commerce, and we saw Greg Toes endorsing and helping, getting these votes. We saw what they were doing through the newspapers to block each other. You're stepping up to be the best for your community and your town. You're not here to run for establishment. Your offices should be held accountable, and they should be involved when especially you got mayor and son and council collaborating and threatening. That is what went wrong when Abbotsford residents went to Darryl Plunkus. He said, what the hell is that shit kicker Henry Braun doing, threatening people and having the Abbotsford police block and go after people? The former Speaker of the House knew that that was all wrong, and knew what Henry was blocking at the city auditorium was to hold off from other people seeing. But also the Speaker of the House knew what Mike de Jong did was totally wrong, saying cut a deal, Henry owns Abbotsford. But what Ed Fast did opened the doors by Ed Fast's daughters to Devon Roy and all the developments. They were enriching themselves off the backs of Abbotsford taxpayers. They were using our private police to threaten, run over people, cover up criminal investigations, and then go after them rigorously. Thanks to the RCMP, Abbotsford residents and myself stood on the world stage to open one of the biggest scams in political politics. Politics is dirty, but it should not be done on residents and candidates or people or the community. It should be done in the debate, and you call each other out. This is why I made sure that Abbotsford residents are reaching into all parties, NDP, Conservatives, the BC one, and everywhere. You get caught doing this stuff, you're going to be front and center on the screen, because Abbotsford residents learned what Henry was doing with the Abbotsford newspaper, Vicky Hopes, was one of the dirtiest, lowest things to block from the law. Simon Gibson went behind Ian Black because he was forced to get them Liberals in, and David Eby said they're the best in the ledge. The Liberals are taking over the BC Conservatives. The BC Conservatives need to put a stop to it. There's only two candidates really in the BC Conservatives. The former mayor, Bruce Banman, and Caroline Finley are the two candidates that you got to look for when you're looking for that. And my MLAs got to call that out. Armin Bangu calling out Ian Black is no good. You got to call out Peter Millibard too, and all the Liberals out there, because David Eby slammed it in your face. And you got to call out Caroline too. This cannot be taking place. You're supposed to be here and helping Abbotsford residents. Today, in Langley, at one of the biggest conventions going on by the federal Conservative, Armin Bangdu was brought in there over all the other candidates. And that is totally wrong. Everybody should be involved, because it's a nomination for the BC Conservative leadership. And that's still wrong. So who's running the BC Conservatives? Is it Kevin Falcon? Is it Christy Clark? Or maybe it's Gordon Campbell. But right now, Henry Brown and the establishment are. And we're going to put a stop to that. That is why Mike de Jong, Henry Brown, Ed Fast, and everybody was behind Ian Black. You're not allowed to be doing that. And Simon Gibson, a sitting council, that's the Ag Advisory, rather than out on Mackenzie Bog and doing what's right, he's too busy supporting Ian Black. We got to get Ian Black. So you'll see him passing notes in churches. Our boy's weak, but we got to get behind our boy. Politics don't get played in the city. This is what residents go to the city and debate. And the mayor is supposed to be held accountable by the MLA. And the MLA is supposed to be held accountable by the MP. And now, you throw them all in a jar. It's a bloody mix-max thing. And if this doesn't get straightened out by the BC Conservatives, David Eby is going to get a mandate and he's going to walk in. And that is the facts and the truth to what's taking place, because they're sinking the Liberals into the Conservatives, and even David Eby warned you that your party's going down because the Liberals are just hacking. That will do exactly what the true Conservatives said. It'll make the center-right of the Conservatives, or they're true, split. And the Liberals will stand there. And whether they go to BC1, or whether they form a new party, or go to the Socrats, or go wherever, but maybe the Liberals will get half and that, but David Eby's going to get a majority. We got to make sure that our candidates say politics will not be done in the city auditorium anymore with city mayors and city councils or backroom deals. I'm live. Abbotsford City Council, Simon Gibson.